It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back. We got a brand new video suggested by one of you guys in the Discord community. So shout out to Unruly Line 47 for suggesting this Reddit post from r/Dead by Daylight Rage. And apparently it's a thread here of comments, and I wanted to cover that. But I was also going to go ahead and read the main post here, which says, "I'm so tired of survivors teabagging at exit gates like they did anything skillful all game and weren't carried by perks and infinite pallets. Like you did nothing skillful all game and played like a P, letting your friends take all the hooks. Why are you teabagging like you did something skillful?" And the title obviously is "Stop Teabagging at the Gates, You're the Problem." Now the thread here has somebody saying, "I love when people act like an escape equals carried by perks," which that's not entirely what people are trying to say. That's already a misrepresentation of the point, like just off the bat. But we can say with actual accuracy that that does occur. There are a lot of people that do get free escapes due to the perks, due to the maps, due to the, whatever it may be. So then they said, by your logic, when a killer gets a 4K, that 4K also equals carried by perks and base kit speed advantage. That's not actually the case. There is a difference because fundamentally, and also this is connecting also to this last part, they say if it's the case for one side, it's also the case for the other. Nope, that's not accurate. The fact of the matter is that both killer and survivor are just fundamentally different. They are so vastly different from one another. You cannot compare them as if they were the same side of the coin. They are not. They fundamentally play different. They fundamentally look different. They fundamentally are, experienced differently. Like they are not even close to the same thing. They are just not. They are completely different experiences. One side is just much easier. You have teammates that you can rely on. You have teammates you can synergize with. You have teammates, and also don't forget the overabundance of perk selection. You also have the ability to synergize with other people's perks. You have the ability to also use not only the overabundance of buffs coming to Survivor side through the patch notes, as we can see. They've added like additional endurance and haste off of hooks. They've added the additional timer on the hook itself. They've added the passive increase on the bar filling when you're on the ground, without being picked up. They've added a number of pallets, like a large amount of pallets to every map. They've have gigantic maps that also allow for a lot of these slow moving characters to not be able to apply much pressure because of it. They have the gen speed bonuses, the exhaustion perks that have been buffed up as well, due to the fact that Vigil has been buffed and Ghost Notes was added in as well. So there's a lot of factors that play into that. And then of course with Killer, like you're having to micromanage 4 different players with all 4 different skill levels, having to navigate around like the map, whether it be the map size, the map type, the amount of pallets, the power that you have and what you can do with that power is just different in comparison. Once you kind of understand how to play Survivor, you pretty much are set for the entirety of the roster, because most of the characters that you are facing are either a projectile, which is moved easily countered by either pressing A or D on the keyboard or moving left or right with your thumbstick, or you're dealing with a character like that's an M1, which is easily countered by using a pallet. Pretty much, they can't really hit you through a piece of wood or anything, so that's not going to do anything to them. And then you also have like the ranged characters, which I mentioned before, but like projectile / range, stuff like that. And then you also have the S tiers, which kind of sometimes ignore those things, and those things are maybe 2 out of the entire roster, and even then that is counterable depending on the skill level of the killer player. But those are very rare, so like and you still can win against that if you play well. So they're just fundamentally different. So you can't just say, oh, if that's the case for one, it's together. Like it's not the same. They're not even remotely the same thing. You can be carried by perks on Survivor because you can rely on your teammates, and it's literally being stated in the post. It says, letting your friends take all the hooks. So it's literally being stated in the original post that you can get carried by your teammates. You don't have to necessarily be good at the game, versus Killer, where you don't rely on anything but your perk selection and what you can do with that character. It's just not that even remotely the same thing. This person says that's one person I've seen seriously say something about killer having a speed advantage, which they don't. They really don't. So then the original poster says, I want to hear you explain your logic behind this one, considering how many autopilot perk survivors get. How many of those do killers get? Where they get a speed boost for just getting an injury, it's not exactly the case for killer when we don't have exhaustion perks like you do. So I'll stick to my original take, carried by perks, not skill. How much skill does it take to use lithe, sprint burst, finesse? My point exactly. And that's where I agree with it, because when you look at a perk like lithe, for example, you can vault hit medium, you can vault hit fast, and you'll still get the speed boost. Sprint burst is the same thing. You just press shift W, you're already flying off with speed. Finesse automatically activates when you just vault something. It doesn't even make a difference how you vaulted it. Doesn't make a difference how you decide to angle it. Like, you're still getting the bonus. It does not matter how well you play it when you have the 3 different forms of speed boost that counter a lot of the roster. And lithe is one of them, is something that I wish they would rebalance so that it would be focused on just fast vaulting. Because medium vaults means you didn't vault it correctly and you're getting a worse vault than you would have had with a fast vault. So in my opinion, I was saying, why don't we make it so you actually have to require you to have a fast vault, because it requires actual place, like, good pathing, placements, vaulting correctly, versus just spamming it because you're in a bad spot. Those 2 different things. That's why I like smash hit, because I think that's such a good expressive perk, because you're getting a bonus for doing the right thing. You're getting a bonus for playing well. Like, that should be what it's about, not just, oh, I press buttons, so therefore I win. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So this person says, okay, but by that logic. Like, they're just arguing random semantics instead of actually taking into account what people are trying to say. Because I guess they're a survivor main and they get all hissy. They're having like a tantrum because, oh, you don't agree with me. Like, maybe actually listen to the side on what they're trying to fucking say. That would actually give you a lot more than anything else. They say DS doesn't take skill, but neither does tunneling. Tunneling is a strategy. DS is a perk. So right off the bat, you lost the argument, because you're trying to argue a strategy versus a perk. You tunnel to eliminate a survivor so that you can, I don't know, eliminate somebody applying pressure to your objective. Like, that makes no sense. People forget, right? Here's the fundamental issue. People forget that the person being quote unquote tunneled is being targeted for one reason or the other. And the fact of the matter is that it relies on the person who's being chased to actually make something happen. Now, if the person is bad at the game and they're just getting instantly down, then that of course is more beneficial to the killer. If they're able to hold their own, then this tunneling strategy is not even going to be even remotely effective, because you might end up getting 3 out still. You might end up getting 4 out because of the overabundance of buffs or survivor. So like, there's a lot of things that come into play. It's not like it's an automatic win. And then people like to pretend that it is because they misplay. And then they say Unbreakable doesn't take skill, but neither does slugging. So once again, Unbreakable, another perk versus a strategy. You can't argue perk to strategy. Perk activates regardless of your activation. That's how DS works. That's how Unbreakable works. They just activate just because. Having to tunnel and having to slug are 2 different strategies, which require input from the killer player. They have to actually down the survivor in the first place. If they can't do that, then they can't actually allow these things to happen. That's the fundamental difference. They see reassurance doesn't take skill, neither does camping. Now, camping is a different story. This strategy is more of like you got nothing else like left that you can do, which I've done that before. Like, if there's no other option, like, then I'm just like, I had to stand here. But even so, that's another perk that just has activation without any input. You press a button and it's there. You don't have to activate these things. You don't have to input anything. You walk up, you press button, you walk away. It's the same exact thing. It does not require anything. Those things are not, like, don't have input, is the point. They say also, what about aura reading perks? How does that take skill? Why? Aura perks are just aura reading, bro. Here's the thing that with aura reading perks too. Regardless of the fact if the killer sees you or not, It still boils down to, can you survive the chase? Can you hold your own in the chase? I don't know why these people it never crosses their mind that you being chased is the skill. Like, you being chased, that doesn't matter what they brought. All that matters is, can you hold your own? That's literally the only thing that matters. And then they want to say how are hex perks skill. The second you bring up hex, that's how I know that they're low MMR, because totems are never effective against competent players. Like, they constantly are destroyed the second they activate. They're always just destroyed. Anytime I've ever used a totem perk, 9 times out of 10, unless I'm using like a killer I've never played before, they are destroyed in like 30 seconds or less. I'll be walking up to where I think that they spawned at, and you'll hear the boom of the totem go out. Ridiculous. So that already is not a point. And then they say you hit survivor once if they are exposed and they are down. Yes, but you have to actually, you know, oh, I don't know, put in the effort to allow it to activate. Like, friends to the end, for example, like how they're trying to use in this explanation, requires you to get it down in a hook in the first place. And mind you, the characters that can down quickly don't even get to use exposed. Like, Nurse can't use exposed because her power is an M2, so it doesn't actually count as an M1 anymore, right? But the characters that do get exposed are M1 killers, but M1 killers need to actually get 2 hits and then down you for that to even activate, let alone the fact that Friends to the End is also random, so that you don't get to pick who gets the expose. It could be literally somebody across the map. In what scenario are you going to be able to get over there in time before it runs out? You only get like less than 30 seconds or so. Or is it 10? I forget. It's very low. So they want to say killer perks typically save time. That's not entirely accurate. They say aura reading and gen regression, their perks are going to be the one that wastes by prolonging chase. So you say this, but yet they still somehow have this brainless mindset about this game, which makes no sense. And then, of course, they want to round it out with Ghoul. Yeah, I mean, you already lost the argument from step 1, so all the rest of it is just for fun at that point, because it's just horrible. And then this person says chase a skill. Exactly. The original poster says, 1, I am not one of those killers, believe it or not. 2, who is saying I'm using those perks? 3, what exactly does pointing this out accomplish? While I'm not disagreeing, it also makes sense that the power roll has power. Which, mind you, the power roll ain't even killer at this point. And then 4, they say hexes can be cleansed, so that example doesn't exactly hold weight. I can't cleanse Sprint Burst, Unbreakable, or Vigil. Exactly. Then they say aura reading perks give you information on where they are, but you have to start in the chase and down them, which is exactly my point. The chase is the skill. We're already predicting someone bringing nowhere to hide on Nurse being stupidly strong, but Nurse is an outlier, has always messed up perk balance. Which is true. Like, Nurse is able to just go through the wall, so like at that point, she doesn't even... That's not even a part of the conversation. Like at that point, we're not talking about Nurse. And you shouldn't be talking about Nurse, because not every character is Nurse. If every character was Nurse, I'd understand. But one character out of the entire roster does not decide the entirety of the killer role. That doesn't make any sense. Devour Hope requires you to get 3 downs and hooks to get good value, and Hex is so risky to run. Successfully getting 3 downs and hooks is the skill. Exactly. Getting downvoted for saying winning chase with aura perks, even with the acknowledgement that it's a skill issue with Nurse. And getting value from Devour requires skill incredible. I guess getting value out of Barbecue and Chili as a Nemesis is just as letting the game get autoplayed for me, literally. And Barbecue with Nemesis, I think, is just kind of weak and pointless because he's so slow. Like, he can't teleport or anything. He can't jump or run or do anything. He just, like, moseys along. It's terrible. And notice, like, this same person has not responded, by the way. They have not responded whatsoever. I don't think they've responded. It's not that I can tell. I'm just going off what I'm seeing here. So they say, come on now, starting a chase when you know that there's already that they are already does not take skill. Like when you window vault and get a speed boost is not inherently skill either. What is skill is learning how to maximize the advantage. A survivor using either sprint burst is useless if you don't know how to. Buddy, come on. Like, just tell me you're a moron without telling me you're a moron. I hate to say it, dog. Like, oh, it's useless. It's like, buddy, the fact that you've made the distance is the value. Like, are you dumb? Like, makes no sense. Like, what are you talking about? Isn't that the same? Isn't literally like that the same reason why Blight is so strong? The fact that you can get there fast. So it's like the fact that they can't get it through their thick skulls, that somehow having speed boost is somehow not oh my god, it's useless. What are you talking about? Huh? And then they want to say, you never acknowledge the strategies that they use. Like, okay, congratulations. What are you talking about? And they want to go, oh, but you're slugging for the 4K. Like, who cares? Like, Jesus Christ. That has nothing to do with the balancing of the game. So he says, oh, I played killer on low-MMR is essentially what he's saying. And then he says something about, oh, I saw the aura and I can get a hit on him. Like, that doesn't mean anything. That literally means nothing. Like, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. It's useless. That's a great idea. If it's easy as you say it is, it shouldn't be difficult. The reality is, by the time you get there, you should have a goated hiding spot or have sprint burst. So you burn time chasing them to get 2 hits required for it down. That's the skill behind aura. Using the information along with your killer power effectively. Exactly. That's what we're saying. But no, exhaustion perks don't require the skill. The exhaustion perk has value by itself. That's the difference. Aura, okay, wonderful. You see where they are, but that doesn't mean, oh, I can just be right there and immediately start something. Like, that just doesn't work that way. Mind you, the only reason people will be getting hit when there's aura active is because they genuinely believe they're hidden. It's like, if you see them walking towards you, maybe start running. Like, duh, like, you have a third-person camera. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, oh, he doesn't see me, I'm just gonna stand here. Like, obviously they see you. Like, come on, buddy. And if you have sprint burst, you can literally just boost away for free. So, like, that doesn't make any sense. So let's see. So they say rapid from Xeno gives a speed boost but takes away your bloodlust, which if a player is concerned about bloodlust, then I don't know what to say. Batteries gives a speed boost when in a nearby completed gen. How does that one take skill to use? So they love to say, oh, but you get haste on stuff, and you get enduring and bamboozle, and you get corrupt and spear fury and predator. I'm like, these are non-points, dude. They're non-points. Because keep in mind that you need to complete the gen to get batteries to activate. So you can literally decide where he's getting batteries from. Let alone the fact that if he's using batteries, he's running in an area that he doesn't need to defend. Because it's a completed gen that gives haste. Not a worked on gen. Oh, they're touching the gen, so you get haste. No, when the gen is done. So if you're running in an area where they don't even need to be, that means that they're getting more advantages by going over there. So, like, no, that doesn't make any sense. So, like, it's low IQ, man. Low IQ. It makes no sense to me. Then they want to say, oh, but bamboozle and enduring. Like bamboozle lasts for what, less than 14 seconds, I think it is. Like, something very short. And the only time bamboozle should matter is if you're on shack, I guess. But even so, like, there's very small opportunities to have to think, man, bamboozle really won in the game. Like, it's only going to affect maybe, like, I'm gonna say like 30% of the time it's gonna actually matter to you. And enduring shouldn't really matter as much if you're deciding to actually loop, which I know they don't like to do, so that's of course against the rules. They say corrupt, the survivor spawns are already bugged. So a lot of the survivors are not even spawning on the corrupted gens anyway, so that also doesn't matter. Nurse's Calling is a non-point because it's an ass perk. I can see them healing whoop-de-doo. I can't attack them. Predator only shows me when they're done in chase, which most of the time means I have to leave anyway, so no, that doesn't matter. No-Ed is the only second chance perk I can think of on Killer, and even then that got nerfed because it shows the survivors that it's active when the last gen is done. Play with your food isn't actually just a balanced perk because it can only get stacks off of the obsession, which if you just stay in chase with the killer, he's not going to be able to continue to gain stacks. Let alone the fact that the only characters using play with your food are low tier killers. Like, play with your food never gets used on anybody who actually has basic speed. And then Lightborn is just a direct counter to flashlights, which only affects one item out of the many items you can get. Spies and Whispers, same thing, situational. Don't non-points, constantly. And of course, Survivor main loses his mind. Oh my god, you did say what I said! I'm like, okay, buddy, like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, like, oh yeah, those perks are passives and they're strong. Like, no, they're not. No, they're not. Like, stop crying. No, they're not. So let's see. So the original post is Bamboozle takes skill to know what loops to shut down, how to use 060 seconds effectively. Battery 6 skill because you have to win the mind game. Keep going when you get the idea. Also, like I've said before with batteries, like it's not that effective unless you're, you know, able to down him quick enough. They said the perk's been around since launch does not mean there's not something fundamentally wrong with it. It means the game has been broken since launch, and it's true. And then they say, what does me playing Wesker have to do with anything? You do realize I don't exclusively play Wesker. I like to experiment and bounce between killers. One match I'll play Wesker, I'll play Bubba Huntress. And they also suffer from Sprint Person Live. Basically, everyone I play SF Wesker suffers from the perks. I'm failing to see your argument. Exactly. Because a lot of the non-points, the bullshit, they like to say, oh, we just play other characters. Like, okay. How is that going to help the game, though? Because, mind you, they say play Blight, but then they bitch that you play Blight, for example. But also, people want to play other shit. The game gets fucking boring all day long, playing the same character over and over and over. And then this bozo says, shutting down the tile and not eating to mind game. As if there isn't a pallet 2 inches away. Like, let's be so for real, dog. Walking by a completed gen requires skill? Like, that's not what's being said. Are you dumb? Like, nobody ever said that. Battery is a completely passive perk you put on, let the game play out, but that's still required the survivors to complete the gens in the first place. You can still decide where that gen ends up being because you can repair it. You can literally repair a gen at the corner of the map, and what value do they get from that, right? So, makes no sense. How is vaulting to block a win any different than vaulting to get a speed? Oh yeah, this kid's dead. Like, this kid is an idiot. Oh, genuinely an idiot. Oh, that's very dumb. He's very dumb. A speed boost for free that you can pop at any point versus which, mind you, Lithe applies to pallets and windows, so you can just vault either or. Versus BAM, you have to specifically vault a window only. And depending on the map, you will not get value. So like, but Lithe, you can vault anything. So like, that doesn't make sense. Come on now. Survivor perks are inherently brain dead value, just like a Vigil Sprint Burst. So put those perks on and congrats, you get a free 20 seconds to every chase. And and almost have every single status effect for your team in the game as a plus for free, because why not? For Killer, all the good perks require hoops to get through to even get value out of. Pain Resonance requires you to down someone, pick up without getting stunned, and put them on a specific white hook to get 20% off of one gen. Exactly. And you have a limit of 4 of these and can't repeat the perk on one survivor and have to spread out the hook. So yes, survivors are hard carried by brain dead free value perks in comparison. Exactly. It's so true. So yeah, and I do also like to see that they do have some actually level-headed survivor players that go, I'd never teabag, it's unnecessary. I'm like, exactly. It just really isn't. We're all just trying to play the same game, dog. Like, it ain't that serious. Oh, look, a skill issue over here. That's why he got downvoted so crazy. I only do it to Bubba because his chainsaw is bullshit. Everyone else is fine. I'll accept the Ghostface or Michael or Cheeky Huntress axe insta-downing me. That's chill. Hell, even Knight getting 2 for 1 special, like, dog. Skill issue incorporated over here. God damn, that's tough. Couldn't be me though. They say, as clown, I use it for long-range bottle aim practice since they won't leave until you get close. I've even had some survivors get into it and slow walk back and forth like a shooting gallery. I try and turn their bad manners into a positive. I only get endgame BP for using power, but I'm way better at aiming at a moving target and knowing the limits and timing of his throw now, which is nice. I'm glad to hear that people are like improving, despite the fact that I constantly advocate for not playing the game. If you're gonna play it, at least get something out of it. The worst thing is when a survivor I helped get out acts like that in the gate. Bruh, you didn't even do anything and now I'm mad I rescued you. I never bag at killers. It's my duo because he deserves it. Had a Nia today in basement on Orman against a Jason. I cleansed Noed and my duo and hooked her. I went to protect her to gate. But Jason decided to finish off my duo. No worries, he was willing to die for the play. We try to help randos when we can because solo sucks. I stick with Nia to help take a hit for as needed. She proceeds to bag and flashlight click at the door. Okay, I just left. Wish Jason had showed up and speared her. Whatever Jason is, I'm so sorry. At least you got a kill out of it. And that's the problem with DBD as a whole, man. You got a lot of I will say dumbasses that do that kind of thing, and then they wonder why the community is a cesspool. So this person says, okay, TBH, I don't take teabags too seriously, but I also don't understand when people tell you to, quote, just look at a wall, or, quote, just wait till they leave. Like, why not just chase them out? Yeah, these people are very low IQ, big dog. They're very low IQ. Like, it's actually, like, insane. And this is why I constantly am making these types of statements about the DBD community, because we look through the forums here, we look through the videos that, like, of survivor mains and things like that, and in a rare occasion we get a wonderful video that talks about the killer experience that they've experienced, and I forgot their name though, but I'll link it at the end because it's a wonderful video. But we also get, like, 90% of the time we get the low IQ dumbos here that say some stupid shit. Like, why not just chase them out? Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Because they say you don't have to take the tea bags. I'm like, that you literally are taking the tea bags by going over there. Are you dumb? Like, what are we talking about? Like, people are dumb, dude. And this person, the original poster, says that's rich coming from the guy who can't handle being slugged for a few minutes without making a post about it. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. These people are dumb. So then they say some bullshit. The TTV in question bleeds out players, blah, 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 reported. He's just yapping about some bullshit, crying. The OP says, this game might not be for you if you can't handle seeing people teabag and have to hide. And then, I wasn't attacking you. Says those two sentences contradict each other pretty significantly. Why wouldn't I be upset? That's like saying just ignore it. Yeah, that's about as helpful as an ashtray in a space shuttle. Yeah, it's kind of true. Oh shit, that's good. That's true. That's good, man. That's good. That's really good. They say I was referring to those people whose advice to people like you frustrated about teabags to look at a wall or something, but like in the end, what else can you do but ignore it? I usually get angry, blah blah blah. And then original poster says, "What? Who do you think you're helping with these paragraphs? This must be Matthew's Cote's second account. Saying the same thing with more words doesn't change how useless of advice that is." Yeah, thank you, Vivian over here for pointing that out, man. That's a W, man. W poster. W poster. Let's continue. Let me take a quick look and see if there's anything else in here. Oh yeah, there we go. We got all the dumbass. Bro, you're taking this game too seriously. Like, all right, dumbass. Like, Jesus Christ. Just ignore it. Like you're an idiot. Like, you're an idiot, big dog. Like, there's not much else you could say. Exactly. Like, oh, I just tune him out. I'm like, you're an idiot. How about you engage with the topic like an adult instead of running straight to insults? Based on that comment, I'm inclined to you're no older than yourself. That's crazy. It's crazy, bro. Low IQ, man. I keep saying this every time. So, well, I want to hear what you guys think of this thread here today. Let me know what you think in the comment section, of course, as well, of what you think of the thread today, because it's definitely an interesting one to really listen to. I guess you could like to read, and it only reinforces what we've been saying about the DBD community for quite some time. And it's like that they are very low IQ, addicted to slop. I mean, you know, you name it, it's probably accurately describes the DBD community. Now, if you're interested in non-DBD content that actually has passion and soul behind it, then check out my other channels, my Marvel Rivals channel, and also I have a video essay channel that's up and coming. I'm in the process of writing some scripts and things, so go ahead and sub to those, and I can put you guys on to some new games that aren't this garbage fest, and then hopefully you guys will enjoy those games if you end up playing them. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Consider becoming a member on this channel for YouTube, or even Patreon, or even subbing on Twitch if you want to support me directly. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.